Good morning, welcome back to another video on the channel. So we have reached the semi-final stage of the men's Cincinnati Masters. We have two fantastic matches lined up between Alexander Zverev and Jannik Sinner, and Holger Rune against the home favourite Francis Tiafoe. I did go 4-4 in my quarter-final predictions, which I was very happy with, and I will do my best to go 2-2 in the semi-finals as well. So the first match I'm going to look at is between Alexander Zverev and Jannik Sinner. Now, there's a hell of a lot on the line for both of these players. Alexander Zverev, I believe, can jump to world number 2 if he wins the title this week in Cincinnati. Jannik Sinner, I feel like it's a huge opportunity for him now. He hasn't enjoyed the best few months due to his physical issues, but with no Alcaraz and no Djokovic left in the draw, he has certainly become a favourite to win this title. And it's a huge opportunity for him to gather some momentum going into the US Open. If you asked me who would win this matchup on a hard court at the start of the year or the back end of 2023, I think I would have went Sinner pretty comfortably. But now the tables have turned with Sinner's physical issues and the way that Zverev has played in 2024. I think he's been fantastic on all different surfaces, hence why he has won the most matches on the ATP side of the tour. Just looking at their quarterfinal performances, Zverev's been ultra consistent, but Shelton is a player that is new on the block. Shelton's very unpredictable in the way he plays. He's got immense power, a huge serve, huge forehand. He's not easy to play against on a hard court. But I just felt like Zverev was sloppy, and that's not what we've seen from so far this year. He made 8 double faults, 20 plus unforced errors, converted just 1 out of 8 break points. And that's something that we've seen from Zverev over the years, and it's the reason why he hasn't won any majors or as many Masters as perhaps his performances have deserved. When he's got to semi-finals and finals, he has been a little bit passive. He hasn't quite produced his best in the biggest moments. And that's something we saw yesterday, that on the big points, he didn't quite have the conviction. He didn't quite go for it. He was a little bit passive. And the match almost slipped him by, but he did recover very well to win 7-6, 7-5 in the second and third set after dropping the first. I feel like to beat a player like Jannik Sinner on a hard court, he's going to need to play the big points better. As I've said, he hasn't done that in the past, and that's why he's not a major winner yet. He's also lost the majority of his semi-finals, particularly in Masters, but the more experience that he gets, the more wins he gets, you'd hope the better he plays in the big moments against the top players. Overall, though, I think he's played very solid tennis throughout 2024. His movement and his net play are part of his game that I think he has drastically improved in the past 18 months, and that's hence why his results have improved with that. I think he has become better with variety. He's got a better all-round game. He absorbs pace very well. His backhand, in my opinion, is one of the best in the world. We know that his serve is a huge weapon. Something that he will need to do well against Sinner is serve well. Look to get on top in the rallies, look to use his backhand down the line, his forehand cross court. We've seen in the past from Zverev that his second serve and his forehand can be an issue in big matches. Remain to be seen whether that happens again this evening. On Jannik Sinner, I think he's certainly moving the best that he has in months. We know at Wimbledon he really struggled fatigue-wise. He didn't look well. He's had the hip injuries that stopped him during the clay court season. Also looked to be an issue with the hip in Montreal, but so far this week, fingers crossed, he looks okay. I don't think he's still hitting through the ball as well as he perhaps can, but I do feel like he is starting to construct points again. He's using his variety to come forward. He's attacking the net well. But one issue I think was Sinner, that he's only averaging 50% of first serves. He's still not near his best when you look at court, and I don't think we've seen that from him yet in Montreal or Cincinnati to suggest that he's at that level just yet. But he did outlast Rublev, which I think are good signs for Sinner, because the reason for his poor performance and poor results in the past few months have largely been down to the fitness issues and not his level of performance. As I mentioned, there's so much on the line. Zverev can get the world number 2 with a title win. Sinner needs the momentum, needs a title going to the US Open. In terms of match prediction in this one, I think Zverev's playing very solid, consistent tennis. Sinner is starting to get back to his best. We've seen signs of it, but I'm still not convinced that he's physically up to this level, and whether his current level will be enough to beat a player like Zverev in the form that he's in. So I'm going to predict Alexander Zverev to win this one in 3 close sets. Moving on now to the second semi-final, and a match that I'm actually looking forward to more than Zverev-Sinner. I always like watching the players that you don't always see in semi-finals and finals of Masters. You see how much it means to each player. You see how they cope with the pressure, how they play the big points. Francis Tiafoe has come through a very tough draw. For Keane, it's never an easy matchup. Lorenzo Musetti's enjoying a fantastic year, although not at his best on a hard court. Lehecka had previously beaten Daniel Medvedev in Cincinnati, which we know is a hell of an achievement on a hard court. Hubie Hurkacz, I thought Tiafoe played a very good strong set before Hurkacz retired 6-3 down. And Tiafoe's never played a Masters final in US. It'll be a brilliant achievement, a brilliant occasion for him. And the walkover against Hurkacz is always very useful. When you're getting the back end of Masters, the less time on court you can spend, the better it is for the body. So he should be fresher than Rune, who has had a tough route through, playing the likes of Berrettini, Monfils, Draper. Tiafoe will have the crowd, and I'm, obviously be hugely motivated in US and to reach his first ever Masters final in America. But I'm interested to see how he copes with the crowd. I think he just needs to play the match, Tiafoe, rather than play the occasion and play the crowd almost. I know Tiafoe's a player that has got amazing shot making. He's got the X factor. He's got a very entertaining game style. And I feel like he does need to use the crowd to an extent, but not become errant and not overplay and not try and hit shots in ridiculous angles. I think when Tiafoe's patient, he uses his slice well, he serves well, and I think he's a hell of a lot of better player. And I'm a huge fan of his. As I've said, I think he's very entertaining. He's an underrated player. He can play lights out tennis and become one of the most entertaining players to watch in the whole of the ATP Tour. But in the opening round, he served just 39% of first serves. Second round, he served 76%. So his serve is very hot and cold. It needs to be on a go-on day to beat Holger Rune. I feel that if Tiafoe can serve well, hit lots of aces, allow it to step inside the court on his forehand, hit winners, get the crowd behind him, then it could be a tough night for Rune. But Tiafoe's a player that has become, very inconsistent over the years. We see him play absolutely brilliant or very poorly. Tonight, he's going to have to be on a good going day because Holger Rune is in very good form. Rune is a player that is still only 21 years old, which surprised me when I looked at his stats. It feels like he's been around for a long time, but at 21, he's had a tough time over the past 18 months. He's changed coaches a lot. He's been outside the top 10 now. But I think he's got a huge future. He's very tenacious. He believes in his ability. He fights very hard on court. And I feel he's a player that, a lot of the players that are coming through now have huge games, huge weapons, the likes of Ben Shelton, Jack Draper, Arthur Feast. They've got huge weapons, whereas Rune doesn't really have a huge weapon in his armoury, but he's all around a very strong player. I think tactically and technically he's excellent. He defends very well out of both wings. He counter-punches excellently. I feel like in this one, he's going to make Tiafoe run, play the extra balls, hit winners some unlikely positions, put Tiafoe into positions on the court that he doesn't want to be in. And that'll be a testament to Rune's ability and also a test of whether Tiafoe can be patient enough and rally with Rune from the back of the court and pick these moments to attack rather than overhit and become erratic, as we've seen from Tiafoe at times in his career. Rune, again, he's only serving around 50% of first serves, and I feel that that's what Tiafoe will do. Look to step inside the court and attack the second serve with his double-handed backhand. It's a very good return shot for Tiafoe and a good option for him to look to be aggressive and break Rune. I expect Rune to construct points well and attack the net. We know he came to the net 40 times against Monfils, winning 32 of those points. He also attacked the net a lot against Jack Draper, which was a good tactic. And in terms of a match prediction, I'm very intrigued on how Tiafoe uses the crowd and whether he can control himself and, as I've said, pick these moments to attack. Tiafoe's playing very well this week, but this is a real test. I think, the matchups have favoured him so far. I think the win over Lehecka was fantastic in terms of what was a very physical match in tough conditions. The Hurkacz, I think he played very well in the opening set. But Holger Rune has also had a very tough draw and is at home on a hard court. I feel like Rune is knocking on the door for a maiden US Masters title with the way he's played. He's sort of been under the radar so far this week, but could end up in the final. In terms of prediction, I think Rune is a little bit more consistent, better all round, and could play the more consistent and not safe tennis, but solid tennis, I would say, in the big moments. And I'm going to go for Rune to win in 3 very, very tight sets, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Tiafoe used the crowd and won this one. But I'm going to go Holger Rune in 3. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, if you would like to leave a comment and a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. I do this YouTube channel to hopefully achieve the dream of working in tennis media one day. I use this channel to improve my skills, improve my knowledge on the sport, shine some more light on the sport that I love. And I will be covering a lot more events throughout 2024 as well. I will be back tomorrow to preview the final, whoever's in that. And I'm going to go for Alexander Zverev to be facing Holger Rune in tomorrow's final. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.